There's a lot to unpack with that opening video. Just very tainted. They always feel betrayed. They always feel victimized.
Just like Helldivers 2 dropping on the Xbox in August 26th. And there's nothing that you could do, Pony, besides cry and complain about it. Why are you still doing this type of content, man? You're 50 years old and you still doing this childish behavior. Matter of fact, that's an insult to children because I don't even think I've seen kids do this. You're 50 years old, man. Now, let me guess. You're going to talk about Boomstick again because he got a little bit more hair than you do? Is this what this is all about, Steve Austin? Because at the end of the day, the bottom line is that PlayStation 5 is full-on third-party, regardless if you like it or not. Because you know why? Because Gamester said so.
Right? It's just on another level of like...
I can see you took down the Spider-Man poster off the wall, huh? That game must be coming up next for Xbox, huh? They really think that's exclusive. Look at it. He got the controller on the side, bro. I mean, come on, man. You know PlayStation don't own that, man. Don't tell me y'all here buying all these Spider-Man posters and electronics and things because you happen to believe that PlayStation owns Spider-Man.
How dare you? Like, Xbox was the one that put them on the map. If they didn't get put on any other platform, they definitely wouldn't have found success, right? I mean, I think they would have found great success if they launched on the...
You don't know that.
Nintendo, I think they would have found great success launching on...
How could they find great success when the Wii U was a failure at the time? I mean, let's be honest. Microsoft really put this company on the map just for them to say, oh, we don't want to work with the company. I mean, come on. It's kind of disingenuous. Let's just be honest, man. You know, the same company that you guys are glorifying was the same company that worked for Microsoft. But now all of a sudden, since they are making a good game and it's skipping Xbox, now all of a sudden you guys want to go out there and buy it? That's what fanboys do, okay? And at the end of the day, people in the Xbox community, they can't buy the game anyway because they play on Xbox. So I don't know why this would matter to you ponies. The real question is, are you guys going to support the game, or this game's going to inevitably drop on Xbox because they didn't get enough suckers on PlayStation to buy this said game?
PlayStation, but again, these guys felt betrayed. But before we get to the post here, I do have some videos to share, some more clips in regards to this, so let's get right.
He is basically spitting in the face of the community that supported him, that put him on the map. The Xbox player and community put that dude on the map.
And this is before Game Pass. This is, you know, I mean, Boomstick has a point, bro. And like I said, you're only upset because he got a little bit more hair on his head than you do. He's not fully bald like Xvault Gaming over here. I mean, hey, listen, man, I'm trying to keep the insults minor, especially considering what you do in regards to calling other people offensive terms in this community. But still, I digress. I mean, what is wrong with what he's saying? What makes this a fanboy stance?
Now it's like, oh, they're not good enough. I'm telling you right now, it's going to backfire on him the same way it done with Square and several other of even the bigger developers. Like, yeah, we're gonna skip Xbox. Oh no, Xbox, help us! And they will eventually release their games there. I wonder why.
Help us,
all right, so
help us! We need that money. We need that Game Pass. We need that money, man. You know, give us all the money in front. We don't care about the software shelves anymore. Look at this fool, bro. Let me guess what you're about to say, bro. You know. You're going to say that's wrong? I mean, Square themselves said that when they did that exclusivity deal with PlayStation, that they're going back to their multi-platform strategy. So, and all these games that you say that were successful on PS5, guess what? Guess where a lot of them end up dropping? That's right, guys. The Xbox.
That said, I mean, again, victimized, you name it, a spit in the face to them, the community or anything like that. I don't think it has anything to do with that.
I mean, but they're not advocating to say to not have PlayStation owners play it. They're just saying, why can't we have access to this game? I mean, you guys got to think about it. This type of behavior is petty. At the end of the day, we all know that more platforms equates to more money. It's that simple. I don't care what you guys want to say. Well, Nintendo don't need to do. Well, Nintendo ain't making AAA games, are they? They're making AA titles. And even if their games weren't selling in the millions, like a lot of them do, well, guess what? Nintendo don't have to worry about it because the budgets that they be putting in their games, they've already solidified the success because they only need like 2 million for people to buy them. And if anybody buys it any less than that, then it's not really that much loss to the company. That's why Nintendo barely has voice acting, barely has. I'm not saying that these is what makes a game better, but I'm just saying the budgets of their games are significantly lower than the ones you see on PlayStation as well as Xbox. You people know this.
You know, it is what it is. As the developer, stance. It's how they feel about the business and the landscape, and they got to do what's best for them, for better or worse, whatever the case is. But to take something so personally, like this was your first-party game, right? This was a Halo entry, Gears or Forza.
Well, this is even worse because it's a third-party game, and yet they still see the need to skip Xbox, even though Xbox is the reason why they birthed in the first place. Like, I can understand Boomstick's point. Now, you can argue, is it that serious? I personally don't think it is, but still, he's entitled to his opinions on that. You know what I mean? You want to sit there and keep referencing this guy in your videos, and the funny thing is, you're going to be wrong every single time. Why do you keep talking about Boomstick when you was wrong about the whole Helldivers 2 not going to drop on Xbox? How about you discuss that? How about you give that man an apology? But no, you're not going to do all that because you're a 50-year-old man-child playing with your little Spider-Man figurines, your little Spider-Man Ghost Rider toys in the background. Come on, bro. If you want them to be any sort of collectible, we all know you got to keep them in the box.
Free. And they said, you know what, I know we're a home base here, but we're going to go ahead and put ourselves on the competitor's platform. That's not the case, man. These guys are just some devs trying to do what works best for them. Case kind of closed, right? But again, it's just...
But there's no excuse as to why the game can't drop on Xbox. That's the point that he's trying to make. Okay, no physical. Okay, that's fine. Make it digital. That's still more money to them. Clearly, we know what's going on here. They want Microsoft to pay up probably some from Game Pass Ultimate subscription. If Microsoft probably ain't willing enough to pay that much for an indie game of that stature, they're trying to use that strategy against Microsoft by saying, well, okay, you don't want to give us that Game Pass money right off the bat? Well, we're not putting it on your platform. So they're doing no different than what EA did with the Sega Dreamcast when Sega had their own, NBA. Remember, they had their own NBA licensed games, and EA was telling Sega at the time with the Dreamcast, oh, if you want Madden and all these other games, you got to tell that NFL 2K can't put their football game. And they're like, what? We paid for this. We own this. Right? And to be honest with you, they were actually far better than Madden, especially at the time, in my opinion. And like I said, they tried to use that. And the funny thing is, EA made a lot of games for them on the Sega Genesis, even made some on the Saturn, and then they just said, you know what, we're going to use this against Sega now. By telling them, oh, we have to be the only sports providers on your platform while you have other sports games on others. They try to use that to their advantage.
The mentality to the finest, right? Let's go over to our next clip here. I want you to take a look. They're saying just hold tight. This is what we're doing. Again, open, shut case right here. But again, I understand the pause for concern from him, right? I understand the pause of concern because
I really don't think there's no concern, guys. Games skip on platforms. You know how many games are going to skip the Nintendo Switch 2? They're probably never going to get GTA 6. Do you see them crying about this? I noticed with PlayStation and Xbox owners, you guys like to cry about certain games not being available on your platforms day and date. PC gamers ain't even getting GTA 6. What are you guys crying about? And to be honest with you, there's probably nothing that special about this game in the first place. I'm not disrespecting it, but for the people that enjoy it, by all means, but it's not something that I'm interested in playing. And the vast majority of gamers, I would probably say the same thing. Who cares, bro? You guys are doing these little nothing fights about these little projects that want to skip each other. They did the same thing with Power. Oh, why you drop on everybody first? Why you drop on them first? Why you didn't drop for us? Why they get to play it on... Bro, you guys, at this point, you need to complain with the companies that you guys support if it's that much of a problem. If you can't afford to wait to play these games, then just buy the other platform. Stop with this childish behavior. It's stupid. I could only imagine if they did this stuff back in the days. Why can I not play Contra Alien Wars on my Genesis? Why can't we just have it all in one package? Why I gotta buy a Super Nintendo to do this? Why I gotta buy a Sega Genesis to play Contra Hard Corps or Castlevania Bloodlines? It should be all on one platform. And then you guys wonder as to why console gaming is shifting towards PC, because guess what? That's what you could do on PC. This is why console gaming to a lot of people is feeling obsolete. As a console gamer, we was always known for buying multiple consoles for different gaming experiences. PS2, original Xbox, and GameCube. Now all of a sudden you guys want everything all in one. I noticed that with gamers now. You guys want this all-in entertainment box that just does everything you want, well, without having the need to own multiple consoles. You guys can't even sit there and say that's not true, because that's exactly what's going on. That's why when you guys say I'm going to PC, that's the reason why you're going to PC, right? Because it plays PlayStation games and Xbox games, and it has Steam, and it has all these other launchers on it, which makes sense. I mean, more games in general. But at the end of the day, if I'm missing out on PS5 games on my Xbox, I buy a PS5. If I'm missing out on Xbox games on my PS5, I just buy an Xbox. That's what a console gamer is supposed to do. But now these companies are seeing that, hold on, people don't buy our consoles for these games. They buy it for third party. And these consoles and these console manufacturers and Microsoft funding these games or whoever, they're not getting the type of money they need. So that's why they're going multi-plat.
Developer, it's not the only game that has either been delayed or skipping the box itself in general. But again, why are we not living in reality and understanding that Xbox is a third-party publisher now? They're going to put their stuff everywhere.
Like, why do you even continue saying this after Sony's doing the same thing, bro? Like, you've been MIA ever since that job listing. You still ain't even brought it up to people's attention. What are you going to say when Spider-Man drops on Xbox? Or any PlayStation games that have already been going to the Nintendo Switch? What are you guys going to come up with next, bro? What are you guys going to say? What's the next excuse? I need to know now, because I kind of already know it, because you guys just moved to the next narrative. And I'm sitting there telling you that PlayStation is exactly the same as Xbox, bro. Y'all don't have exclusives. Stop using that argument. What exclusives do you have?
It really doesn't matter. At this point, you might as well be on PC. I understand the ease of use on a console, but you guys are all getting all hyped up from this.
I don't care. If I have that much of a problem, I'll just buy the PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox. Well, I probably don't need the next PlayStation because y'all don't make good games. And I'll have access to Steam, which has access to your games. So if I really want to play them, I'll just play them through there. Even if Sony decides not to put them themselves, at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation.
Hard rumor of being a hybrid console for the next Xbox, being Steam integration, having that computer component to it, as well as having console components to it. So pick a lane. I think that's the most confusing thing ever, in my opinion, by the way. But pick a lane.
Why is a grown man, that was born with free will, would have to pick a lane? What do you don't understand, bro? I could pick up whatever I want. If I want the Xbox PC and the PlayStation 6, by all means, I'll buy them. Okay? You think I really care about what a fanboy has to say? Oh, you got to pick a team, Well, I just watched the games, No, you got to pick a team to enjoy this NBA game. What are you talking about? I can't just watch the enjoyment of basketball? No, you got to pick a team. Like, what is this whole pick a team crap?
You got to understand, Xbox has kind of lost its identity. Do you blame any developer truly for taking a pause? That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, I got 2 more clips here we're going to share real quick.
Later. So now he's calling the PlayStation people fans.
Mm-hmm.
And and Xbox and Switch people are not fans. The only places he ever launched a game that they could ever have fans from, those are not the fans, it's the PlayStation people.
Talk about burning bridges.
Got it.
For an audience that's not going to show up for you, bro.
In any way,
they are not going to show up. I hope you spend all your pocket change porting this freaking game to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation Pisser Plus. And I hope that,
I just think it's, honestly, just from my point of view, I just think it's stupid for why Moon Studios would even come out with that argument. I'm just being honest. At the end of the day, if I'm here to make money and I'm going to make a game for everybody, especially if I'm not bounded by a company, that is just stupid. And maybe there was some Xbox gamers that don't own a PlayStation that would want to play the game. Why are these type of games being exclusive? Well, I would say more of time exclusive to a platform. Like, that's just going to be a lot of lost change from them. I mean, I don't know this type of game. I really don't care for it personally. But even for Switch, like, y'all don't even want to add Nintendo to this? I mean, if Grand Theft Auto 6 could run on the Nintendo Switch too, I can guarantee Rockstar would most definitely make sure that game would go there. Okay? At the end of the day, money is money, regardless of where you're getting it from.
while you're doing that and you run out of money, Hopefully you won't figure out how to get that bitch on that platform still. But if you do, you're gonna find out because you done fucked around.
It'd be funny. Better than developers themselves. I'm sure they have their hands into creating games and how the industry actually works.
But it doesn't make sense, and I can explain why. Because PS5 and Xbox all utilize the same architecture. Okay? Now, just be upfront. Okay? Just say you don't want to put the game on Xbox because there's some form of an inherent bias. Because there's no reason, there's nothing that you could tell me as to why this game ain't on Xbox. There's no reason. You guys know that. Oh, they don't buy it. Okay, regardless, put it digital. Doesn't matter. And whatever sales you get. That's still more money. Even if only 200 people bought it, that is still money that you missed out on if you didn't put it on Xbox. You get what I'm saying? Like, that is a terrible argument, especially coming from a company that used to work with them. But it seems like they're just trying to muscle out some Game Pass Ultimate money. You know, kind of price themselves out. Hey, Microsoft, give us $100 million just to put this lousy game on your service. You know, we used to work for you. You know, you kind of built this up, you know. And the funny thing is, with Game Pass, if this game started off, not this specific game, but if their other projects started off as Xbox games and they were successful, then it also means that Xbox gamers do buy games. Because if they didn't, why did this game even become as successful as it is in the first place? It's just like with Gears, it's just like with Forza, it's just like with Halo. If there weren't people buying these games on the previous platforms, then why would you think Microsoft would still continue these franchises? You know why? Because people did support them even before Game Pass was even a thing. And you people know it. And that is 100% facts.
Themselves full front. So I'm sure they have a lot to say. They've been right about so much. Oh, wait, that's right. Pretty much 0% of the time. Again,
oh, yeah, really? Mr. Helldivers 2, Mr. Buy 3 copies of Concord, and you have the audacity to say some crap like this?
Yahoos sitting there voicing their opinions and concerns, and they think their opinions are facts, but they don't understand the difference between opinions and facts, and they live in that delusional world and bubble. Now, with those out of the way, with those clips out of the way, you got to see the on-camera delusion, but let's see what idle pricks.
What?
Let's be honest, that's not a great look.
Because they want to see a game come to their platform? What?
And for you to actually seem like you have any power or authority to call the shots here, you don't. You're wrong 90% of the time, and I beg to differ, you're wrong 97% of the time. When you're a broken clock or you're a broken compass, you're bound to be right on one of your outlandish predictions every once in a while. We're talking about the Helldivers 2 thing coming over. But you're delusional. You're weird. You're weird. Straight up weird and delusional. It's not that game's coming out. I don't think you guys are coming in droves. If this game doesn't arrive on Game Pass for you guys, you're probably not even going to pick it up. You guys don't support the industry like you should.
Now, is that an opinion or a fact? Because there's nothing that you could use to base that off. You don't know that. How can you go as far to say what other people are going to do at the time of a game dropping on the other platform?
That's why you're in the boat that you're in. Pathetic. All the way around, guys. But let's keep going here. Alan Wake's account here, or an Alan Wake parody account, stating it's simply not good enough as far as I'm concerned in regards to Thomas's deal. I won't be supporting any studio that skips Xbox to prioritize PS5 or Switch. It's not even PlayStation for this guy, even Switch. I'll spend my money on studios that release games day one and don't treat the platform that I'm stuck with as an afterthought. Pause. What do you mean stuck with? Is entitlement much? Yes, obviously. And again, they're being a bunch of pricks, right? It costs a ton of resources to make a full console port. As I said...
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. See, no, it does not. They use the same hardware. They can use the same exact... It's no different in PC than how they make the game on the lowest common denominator, and then whatever PC rig that you have, it upscales and it looks better and all that based off the hardware that you have. I'm not going to take that as an excuse.
Ultimately, we'll be on all platforms. All platforms.
So what is the point of you skipping it now then? You're still not answering the question. So if you're saying that it will ultimately be on all platforms, then why isn't it on all platforms right off the gate. I don't care about this game. I'm not even mad about it. I don't personally want to support the game in the first place. But my point is this, though. If it's ultimately going to be available on all platforms, then why isn't it on all platforms? What is the excuse? The hardware is the same. The architecture is the same. I get why it would come to PS5 because they have a larger hardware, but so does Xbox. They got 35, 40 million. That's still a lot. That is still a lot of people that you could sell a game to, and then on top of it, you could even do a Game Pass Ultimate on top of it and got extra money. But hey, I don't know what they're doing. To me, it seems like they're just being bitter.
But that will take some time. Moon is about quality above all, so if we do something, we want to take the time to do it right. Whether that be truthful or not from him or that dev company.
Most definitely ain't truthful.
That's up to be decided upon the community and everybody else, right? But he said what he said. It's coming out. But to sit there and be so victimized, you're stuck? A platform that you're stuck with? Are you 11 or 12 and your mom bought it for you for your birthday or Christmas and you can't afford your own? I mean, what are we looking at here? What's the end?
This is Fanboys. You know what I mean? They were real stuck until Microsoft started putting games on their platform. I just think this behavior is pathetic. It's really not that big of a deal. A lot of you guys know y'all didn't really care. Even, bro, these PlayStation fans, they ain't going to buy this game either. I'm going to just keep it 100. We'll see, though. We'll see how things turn out. Man, I looked at the top pre-ordered, and I don't think that game's even going to remotely be there. But still, at the end of the day, I think it's stupid as to why. But, hey, Xbox community, just because something is stupid and it doesn't make sense doesn't mean you guys have the right to cry about it. It's not that serious. I mean, you guys had Stalker 2. Matter of fact, I'd go as far to say that you've had better games that has skipped PlayStation 5 platform over your own. You had Stalker 2, you had Power World, those games were heavy hitters. You know what I'm saying? And PlayStation fanboys were crying about that. And like I said, now those games are coming. Like I said, just wait. This is nothing new, guys. You guys have to grow up. It's not that serious.
That we're looking at here. This is just, entitlement as well. I mean, Thomas hit the nail on the head here. It is entitlement, man.
Well, we'll see how entitlement means. I mean, clearly a lot of people are bothered by it. It doesn't make sense. Like I said, with the Fortnite, with the skins on the PlayStation, and it's like, hey, we want access on all platforms, and then Sony tried to lock that, and the Fortnite community said, if you do that, Sony, we will stop supporting your platform, and then they completely reversed the whole strategy. I think what's entitlement is when they're going to be complaining when they don't get enough money, like Boomstick said, and then they want to drop it on Xbox. Like, please save me, Xbox. We need money. We didn't make as much as we thought. We thought ponies bought games, but they lied to us.
Nobody owes anybody in this world anything. Especially
all right. You are absolutely right about that. So, which also translates to me not owing them any money to go out there and support the game. Thank you for saying that, because that's what people are saying. I'm not going to support a decision like this. This is anti-consumer in every way possible. There's no reason for why this should even exist in the first place, besides to be bitter. But hey, by all means, be bitter all you want, but then when your game flops and fails, don't be crying to Microsoft talking about we need some Game Pass Ultimate money, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
In regards to a hobby, this is not a necessity.
Please.
I state this multiple times. It's not a necessity. It's a hobby. It's not your mortgage. It's not your car payment, anything like that. It's a hobby. Grow up and move on. Let's move on to the next one here. Buying games in the first place, you wouldn't have this problem. Let's go on. We got a couple more here. Just two more here. So, in regards to Thomas's deal, like he said, I don't need to reread that part, but Sabbatha here tacks on, if you skip Xbox because of platform politics BS, you can count on losing me as a customer for any future games you make. I bought both Ori on PC and Xbox, but
on Xbox? I thought they don't buy games.
I won't support this. We're skipping an entire platform because of a tantrum. Rubbish.
I would agree. I agree with that.
What tantrum? Why are we pulling stuff out of thin air here?
I mean, to be honest, it really is. It's politics. It's gaming politics. That's exactly what it is. And like I said, for all the people now, we'll see who's entitled when they do not to support the game, and we'll see what happens after that.
Tantrum are we talking about here? It doesn't look like, in this case right here that we're seeing, I don't see a tantrum. All right? People have had issues trying to get things to run appropriately with the parity clause, and just...
But they didn't say that. That's an excuse that they've been using. Because guess what? These games are still running on the Series S, and they're running just as fine as usual. It's an excuse. I mean, it's so funny you guys talk about parity clause, but the biggest game, the most massive game, CPU-bound game that's ever going to come out is GTA 6, and they have not once said that the Series S is stopping the development of the PS5 and those other versions. Stop the cap, bro. If GTA 6 can come, if they can sit there and tell you with no complaints that these games are going to be available on Series S and X, day one, biggest game of all time, open world, you name it, animations, all that, and they had no problem, then what is the excuse for this crap? At the end of the day, man, we're going to end this video, man. But like I said, bro, there's really nobody angry about it, but I will say one thing. If this game doesn't get enough people buying it on PlayStation, best believe it's going to come on Xbox crying for that Xbox money because you're going to need it. And you're going to want Microsoft to pay you. And they're going to be like, well, since you did some crap like that, we might either give you less or we might not want it there at all. Take care, guys. Peace out.